Hello and welcome to Reasons Are Debatable, where we look at one topic from many angles and offer bad advice that you didn't know you needed. My name is Matt.
I'm still waiting for you to say, and with me as always is Neil. Son of a bitch.
Your
I'm
job,
Neil.
man.
With me, I'm Neil, and with me as always is Matt.
Hi,
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Cool.
I was going to mention a couple things off the top. One is just that, actually, I think it's just one thing. We talked about video games back on episode 10. And if you have not listened to that, what the hell's your problem? Get back there and
that's
listen
true.
to that. It's a great episode. I was on another podcast this week where I talked about video games. So please go check out, I think it's episode 122 of Our Liner Notes, where I joined Chris. And we did a little EA Sports themed episode.
Oh, nice.
Where we pitted the FIFA soccer soundtrack versus the NHL soundtrack. So please go check that out. And there'll be a poll that I'll share as well. You can vote on who you think had the better soundtrack.
I'm a big fan of the Madden soundtrack because they did have Good Charlotte on there once. So I was very happy about that. Yeah. I will also say this, that the motocross games have great soundtracks.
Well, so we were going to do kind of another one maybe eventually that's got kind of everything else.
Yeah,
But
I'll join you guys. That sounds good.
You should.
I fucking would be on it.
Let's get on it.
Freaking
Chris, let's make it happen. So we just did NHL and EA or FIFA for now just because they have really, really heavy duty.
Did you guys talk about the game Stray, where you're a cat?
No.
Well, check it out, bro.
Is that an EA game? We only talking EA here.
I don't think it's EA.
Okay. We're just talking EA.
It might be
games.
EIEI. Oh.
Boo. Neil, let me ask you this.
Please do. I like it when you ask me questions because then I answer them and we create a podcast.
That's the formula. Are women holding us back?
Well, by holding us back, do you mean like, yeah, hold me back, baby? I think they might be.
Well, it sounds like a bit of a loaded question. So let's break it down. I wanted to discuss how being in a relationship with a woman can change a man's behavior. Basically make us less maniacal.
Right.
Straighten us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Unless you're dating a freak show, in which case you just spiral down a...
I would took that very personal there for a second.
Well, I wasn't referring to you.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I was just saying sometimes when you're dating someone who's a bit on the crazy side, it can take you to a bad place. I'm not speaking from personal experience at all.
I have personal experience, but yes, go on.
I am speaking from personal experience. You know who you are.
Yeah,
Does
you
she
know
listen?
who you are.
Does she listen?
Please don't listen. Please don't kill me. Never mind.
I don't think she listens.
It's if you
I'm just
think it's
kidding.
you, it's definitely not you.
It's not
It's
you.
somebody else.
And I just want you to know I really value those years we spent together.
That's right. And you're not crazy. In fact, I still have feelings for you.
Thank God you moved to the other coast.
Yeah. Unless you did, then it's not you. Then it's somebody else.
Unless it might be somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe you left the country. I don't know. Anyway. So this one might be tough for you a little bit because you're a serial dater. You date
am.
cereal. And so
I'm
don't
also
know.
a serial killer. I kill cereal.
That's right. Kill that shit. I don't know that you've ever been alone. Have you, Neil?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
personally spent many, many, many years alone.
Yeah, I haven't been alone a ton, but definitely been alone. And what's really funny is I really like being alone, even in relationships. I kind of like, I'm like, just leave me the fuck
get
alone.
The fuck away.
Yeah.
Just want to be by myself.
I don't know why I'm here.
God. Because I was thinking back to, like college years and in my 20s and stuff. And when you're single and you're not living
Where'd
with
you
a
go to
woman.
college?
Went to the University of Oregon
Quack,
in
quack,
Eugene.
quack, 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 quack.
But during those times, during college, and then after in my early to mid 20s, when I was living that single life, when I was not living with a woman, and Heno does not count, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
Fair enough.
But there were so many things that I was doing that were unhealthy or just uninspired and pretty fucking lazy. So
fair enough.
I don't know how, because I think you've always been. I don't think you'll be as bad in this case, because like I was thinking about the way I ate and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
I've got stories, bro.
Do you? Because I feel like maybe it's just been more recently, but you're so fucking all about diet and like avoiding carbs and real meticulous about what you eat and all these different things. I know you have your binges at times, but I've seen them live and in person. Hey, when you're out of state, all bets are off.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know what? You're right. If I'm out of Napa, fucking I'm done.
Let's go.
Yeah. Jamaica, Eugene, wherever, freaking Reno. Doesn't matter.
I was going to say even downtown San Francisco.
Fucking A.
But eating, like I look back on my college and early mid 20s area, vegetables were like an accident. I really didn't shop well and eat really welly.
That's fair enough.
I ate poorly constructed meals. Let's just say
Mhm.
that. Very convenience oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many like Totino's party pizzas.
Like it.
Do you remember those?
Oh, hell yeah.
Did you eat those a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Because so I would eat them way too frequently. They were very easy. But then the problem I got into, and I may have mentioned this before on another show, is you'd come home after a night of being on the piss, pop one of those in the oven, go sit on the couch, and wake up 2 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
What's that smell?
Well,
My entire
something
house is
burnt.
smoking.
Mhm. Still try to eat it, though.
But the best was when you would do that. You'd wake up, the whole place smelled like smoke. And I mean, I've got somebody above me who's just like, what is going on down there? Do I need to call the fire department?
Mm-hmm.
And then what would you do? I got another one.
Yeah. Throw it in there.
I'm still hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm even more hungry now for some reason.
And so the eating was poor. Like to the point where I remember forgetting that asparagus makes your pee smell until I was dating the gal I'm with now.
Yeah.
Where all of
the
a sudden I
golden
was like, we were
showers
out to
terrible.
dinner and I had asparagus and I went to the bathroom. I was like, what is that fucking? Oh, that's right. It had been so many years I had asparagus.
That's good. So I was a big fan of the beets to turn your pee kind of a pinkish red color. So did you have that issue too? Or were you just not a big beet
Never
eater?
ate beets. Don't like beets.
No, don't like beets. All right.
Don't like beets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like good beets. Like good funky
Solid
beets.
freaking drop it. Drop it.
But I don't like to eat beets.
Let the beet drop.
So what was your eating like?
Dude, we've talked about this a little bit, but I love crappy food. If I could live on donuts,
Fuck yeah.
pizza, hot pockets, ice cream, it would be a thing. I love crappy tasting fake pizza. Like, what are those things? They were like little pizza fucking triangles or raviolis. What were
Oh,
they
you're talking
called?
about the pizza bites.
Not
Pizza rolls. Pizza rolls.
rolls.
Yes.
I love those.
Yeah,
think they are
I
the-
introduced my kids to those. I'm like, trust me, these aren't good for you, but you're gonna love them.
Yeah, bagel bites, all frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
Any crappy those fruit pies that are like 25 cents each. Still,
Oh man,
those ones you buy in the store that like have
Yes.
chocolate or
gross.
love it. Twinkies, ho-hos, grilled cheese, macaroni and cheese,
A lot of cheese.
hot dogs, bagel dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting hungry just now. Is this what
Oh,
you're gonna
dude.
eat tonight for dinner after we're done here?
Oh no, I'm having freaking some baked chicken shit in a salad.
You just look at it and
I
envision.
do like eating healthy. I do like the taste of healthy food, but if I didn't have to eat it, I wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's all out of vanity. If I didn't care how I looked, I'd just be a large Hispanic man just plowing through food.
I
You've
didn't
seen
care.
it. And it's not like, okay, I can have a bean burrito from Taco Bell and
Or
a soft
40.
taco, or I can have fucking 40 of them. I'm going to eat them until I'm sick.
Well, I like your strategy though, because you eat stuff like that in these big binge sessions, and then it makes you sick, and then you're reminded I shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do that for at least 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's a good way. It's not a cheat day.
No.
It's a cheat,
It's a
once a
cheat.
quarter, twice a
But
year.
what's funny
whatever.
is if I would just get like, let's say even like 2 bean burritos and 2 soft tacos, I'd be totally full. I'd be happy that I had them, and I'd
Yeah.
go on with my life not feeling any worse for wear.
Right. Well, you were just talking about on your show, Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, the routine you did when you played football in high school. How you would like
Oh shit!
eat
Finish
mac and
practice.
cheese.
It would finish practice. Go get 2 Big Macs. It was 2 Big Macs for $2 for a lot of times. Like, it seemed to be like the back to school special to get the kids still to go to McDonald's.
Right.
And then you go home and have dinner.
Yeah. See.
But I love sweet. I love soda. I love chips. I love French fries.
And I feel like, so to me, I ate that way because I was lazy and just not good about making proper meals and all that stuff. And so being on my own, it was real easy to get away with that because there was nobody complaining about it. Nobody was there to help right the food ship,
Right.
And then it extended to, other things, drank more, of course. When you're younger, first of all, you're more resilient with the hangover in general, but also when there's nobody that you're living with or that you're responsible to or whatever, have any obligations with, you can just sit around all fucking day if you want, if you're hungover.
Video
So it
games
doesn't
and
really
drinking if
matter.
you-
Then
yeah.
you get, well, then that's the other thing I was saying. Then you get into video games. You're doing video games all day.
You're done. I don't have an addictive personality. I think I have an excessive personality. Like I like
What's the
things
difference?
to excess. Well, I can give it up if like
Oh,
all
you
of a
can
sudden I'm
stop.
like, nah, that's cool. I'm done with that.
You can stop whenever you
I'm
want.
okay. Well, something. Not Taco Bell, apparently. You threw it away, and I was like, I'm pulling that out of the garbage. I might want it tomorrow before I drive
That was a
home.
lot of food we ate. We pulled
Oh,
out of the
dude.
garbage.
Dude, I felt so bad. I remember when we were just settling up the bill, and I'm like, dude, I'm not charging you for the Taco Bell. And you're like, well, what's funny is all that food, and it's still like, I'll give you the $20. Don't worry about it.
It's not that much money. Although it felt like a rather large bill
It was.
for
It was
considering
almost
what we got.
$60 in food without the
God.
tip. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then also with like the way I dressed. Not that I'm a snappy dresser now, because I'm all about that leisure wear or athleisure wear. But
Leisure wear, just the
Leisure wear.
seersucker. I got the seersucker
that's
suit
probably
going.
the next step in my evolution.
But your athleisure wear game is pretty strong. I mean, you look good.
Thank you.
That I sounded way too enthusiastic.
I
about
needed
that. Yeah.
I really,
No, it is.
right now, I
you
needed that.
you do look good. I mean, I mean, I wouldn't take you like maybe to like a 5-star restaurant. in that,
Sure. Right.
but it works.
I have my dress sweats.
yeah, especially if you don't wear a hat, because then you look totally legit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, back in the day, it was more about like totally out of style, like 10 plus years. Never would go buy new clothes, just fucking lazy.
Pretty much me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see,
I
these
got the
are all
same.
these are all things that I was doing because I didn't have someone in my life that was like inspiring me to do more than
Sure.
that.
It's always embarrassing when Annalise will say something like, I've never seen you buy jeans since we were together. And I'm like, no, I
Right.
haven't. Same old jeans.
They still work.
At least they fit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's because of that diet. And also, yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it too, just kind of the no obligations, just and just the laziness. Like I was a much lazier person. So this is all to say that it kind of flipped. Women aren't really holding us back. They're actually pulling me out of the depths of my childhood that just extended well
Right.
into my mid 20s.
Right. They're making me mature.
I mean, you should have seen my furniture when I was living alone. I had a blue, like kind of more on the firm side couch, and then I had an open-ended flower pattern soft couch that was the open end of an L, and I just put those two together.
There you go.
One was white, one was blue. Didn't look.
This will
good
be
at
hard
all.
for you to imagine, but now sometimes my decorative skills and my furniture were just simply because I couldn't afford, so I had to deal with
Right.
it. But I had to have shit in the right place and looking legit.
That makes sense. I
Yeah,
can understand that. See,
couldn't-
mine was certainly an inherited thing. Like, hey, we're getting rid of this couch. We're getting rid of this couch. And they don't go together. I'm like, oh, that's fine.
That's
I'll make
fine.
it work.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just looked ridiculous. I can only imagine when I would have a lady friend over. She's probably just like, good Christ, how old
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? You've got a video game system out. You've got like fucking empty pizza boxes in the kitchen. You've got a shitty wardrobe. What's wrong?
I also want to say that it's kind of fun because with you, when we hang out, you're very responsible. You're very much into your family. And this is the only time I'm ever going to say something nice about this.
I
so
appreciate
pay
this. Is
attention.
like a great pump up session.
Yeah, you're very much like into your kids' lives and to your wife's life. You're very much happily in your family situation, and like I said, very responsible, very good at what you do for
There
work.
is a butt right around the corner.
There's not a but. It's interesting though when we go out and you drink. That I think the younger version of you
Comes
comes
back.
out where everything's just out the fucking window. You're like, I'll sleep on broken glass. Let's throw a bottle through that window. Fuck those people. I like those people.
They're
You're
nice.
not eating. So I can, it's kind of cool to see like, oh, I can totally imagine what you were like as a younger version of you, because it was probably a little more of that. Like, fucking let's
Very
just do
much
it.
more so. Well, and
Let's just do it.
you combine the fact that it's also we get together once a year and we drink quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a town where I went to college,
Mhm.
so I'm used to a certain way of living my
And
life. there.
our get together is supported by everybody in our lives. So it's like Annalise is very happy for me to go and spend time with you and have that experience. Your lady friend, I think, feels the same way.
Yeah.
Your kids are excited because usually you come home with gifts from them from the place that they also very much enjoy going.
Right.
And maybe will go as young adults. There's not that like, oh, I got a bunch of shit from my wife coming out this weekend and blah, blah, blah. And our relationship is probably a little bit different than the relationship you have with your other friends, because we didn't grow up together, go to college
Right.
together. So our relationship is like, oh, we talk a lot about, butts and dicks, and then we get together and drink,
Talk a lot about butts and dicks.
So it's kind of an
No, it's fun
interesting-
though. It's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we're not doing this to get away from anything. This is the only time we get to spend in each other's company.
Right.
So we both kind of, I think, let our hair down a little bit, and we also enjoy seeing the other person that way, which we normally don't. So it's like, fuck yeah, let's drink, let's do this, and let's take naps all day.
Well, that's the thing is
Together.
when we do come together, also it becomes a little bit of an interesting clash because you and I live almost completely opposite schedules.
Mm-hmm.
You're Mr. Early guy, I'm Mr. Late guy,
Right.
and so we somehow make that work. Basically, it's you sit there and look at your phone for 3 hours in the morning while you're waiting for me to wake up
It's great because I get to go through my whole cycle of anxiety
before
from the
I'm there.
night before, and then so I don't have to feel weird. And then I'm like, oh, I feel good. And then you get up, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do
do
this.
this. Yeah.
What are we drinking?
Yeah, and then we'll just cry for the rest of the night.
And then you get to do the detox afterward, which is nice. That's always the nice detox after a
The
weekend
drive
with
home, you
boys
mean?
and stuff like that. Well, that.
Yeah.
Or just in general, getting back and going like, oh, I should probably eat regular food again. That.
Mhm.
Now, to be fair, we have been known to mix a salad in on our trips. So
We actually a couple times we ate fairly healthy. Well,
Yeah.
the Italian restaurant we went to was we got to
good
do
stuff.
that again.
Gotta do that again.
We got to do that, but not the last night because I want to make myself sick on that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's do that. Yeah, you don't want to drive home the next day on that.
No.
I understand. But was there anything else as far as when you were like not living with a woman where it just kind of felt like you were a bit aimless? Because that's in retrospect seems the way. Like there's certain parts of it that you're like, this is great. I don't have these obligations. I can be a fucking slob. I can sit here and play video games all day. I can do all that stuff, which is nice. And when I get it in bits now, which is in bits, it's
Mhm.
like, this is sweet. But in general, that's not how you want to live your life.
No, I go to very, very dark places in my head, and being that I wrote songs and still try to write music, when I would not be involved in a relationship, it was easy for me to feel very
Lyrics would pour out.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, because they joke, and not to cut you off really quickly, but when you look at musicians and comedians
Mhm.
and people like that, creative, a lot of that comes out of pain, not
Right.
happiness.
Right.
So
And so for me, I had a lot of destructive behavior if I wasn't involved with somebody because I didn't have hard lines drawn on what was safe and what wasn't safe for me. The great thing about all the women in my life, whether it be my wife Annalise or my mom, my sister, is that they bring me back to a more centered place where I feel a little bit more valued, where the experiences that I have and the situations I put myself in and those consequences are truly consequences, where when I'm by myself, I'm like, I don't give a
doesn't
fuck.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're kind of, I don't want to say
Probably a little
beholden.
deeper than, usually our podcast would go.
No, that's fine. I think it's though it's important. So having those people in your life, particularly like for me, like when I've been dating someone or now married to someone, is there's just there's certain actions you just go, I can't do that.
Mhm.
Like I'm sharing my life with somebody.
Mhm.
Like I can't do that. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, you just be like, fucking whatever.
I go
No
a little
problem.
bit overboard too, where like now that I'm with somebody, like I want to make sure I'm doing everything I possibly can to make this life the best for both of us and the safest for both of us. And I think sometimes I go a little bit overboard the other way where I'm like just freaking out about shit I don't have to freak out about.
A bit over.
And I don't mean getting angry, just in my head, just
Right.
like, oh, I could be doing this better, which would make her life better, which would make our life better. And really it's like, dude, just relax and play.
like
Animal
the
Crossing, man.
fact that you have a go box ready if anything happens to your house. That
Absolutely.
It has all your financials and shit.
It has passports, a bunch of cash, and all our financials ready to go.
It's like you're preparing for your wife to give birth. You've got the go bag ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, prepared.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So I was going to say, there's a few studies that I read that kind of went along these lines. So this first study, it indicates that men, particularly young men, this is mostly
Mhm.
about men in their 20s, or like even like early mid 20s, that are in a relationship with a woman have less propensity to take risks than a man who's single. So they did a study of men in a first-person driving game, right up your alley,
I'm in.
to see how many times they would call another driver the N-word. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit! I was like, "What?"
Sorry,
The
Kyle.
fuck?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Kyle.
Sorry, Kyle. You'll be back, Kyle. Come on, you got Bubba on your side. You're gonna be all right.
You
You're
need
gonna be all
Bubba
right.
on
Just
your
put the work in. Put the work in.
No, they have them drive with the goal of like getting to the end as fast as possible, and then there's like an elevated gain of money. Like they make more money the faster they get to this destination.
Mm-hmm.
Men are doing it alone. So they would have some men doing it by themselves. They had some men doing it with a girlfriend in the room, which I'm sure was just a thrill ride for the girlfriend to watch.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And then they would have them be in a room with like a 24-year-old attractive
That being
female
said,
that
I'm
they
going
don't
to
know.
interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
That being said, Annalise just bought me World Rally Crossing 8 for my Switch because she actually likes watching me race games.
She does.
Hmm.
I see. You found the one then.
Yeah. I think she's only saying that because she's probably doing something I should know about. I don't know. No. Anyway, but you're saying so they
she's
had
just back there clicking her mouse.
so they were by themselves or they had a female in the room watching them play.
So it was
Or-
either them with their girlfriend or with a random attractive 24-year-old woman
Rando chick.
watching.
Umbrella girl, as they used to call them, which is so degrading.
And essentially,
You know what the umbrella girls are, right?
are you
For MotoGP, they used to hold the umbrellas over the guys because they were in full leathers waiting out in the sun to play. So they were hot chicks that just held umbrellas for the guys.
Yeah.
Now, the poor dudes on the bikes, usually they were married and had a family. You just put a pop-up tent over them. You didn't have to
It
have a
wouldn't
hot
really
chick,
matter,
so.
yeah.
But
Just
anyway, umbrella girl. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so in the presence of, but they were just by themselves or in the presence of the young attractive woman, just fucking
Balls
doesn't
out.
matter. Just taking every risk they can. There's parts where you're driving through and like red light would come up, and you're do you stop
Jose
or do you just
Canseco.
blow right through
Jose
it?
Canseco, right there.
Yeah, just
For the
right
younger
through.
kids, never mind.
But with their girlfriends,
Yeah.
they would be more cautious.
Mhm.
And so the conclusion that they were trying to draw from this is, are men trying to kind of display this safety and security to their partner so that they understand that they're responsible and all that kind of stuff? Or are they like less concerned about their task performance when they have a partner? Are they less concerned about winning because they're content with their partner?
What do you? I'm sure you read the rest of this, but what do you think? What is?
Well, I mean, this is an open-ended
I
thing.
mean,
They did not necessarily
they
say
didn't
this
answer?
is
Oh,
the reason
okay.
why, because
All right.
it was only kind of a somewhat top level survey. They could certainly get deeper with some of the stuff, like
Sure.
measure their testosterone and adrenaline
Size
and all
their
this
dick.
other
Sure.
stuff and how it affects their partner and all that kind of thing. I think for me, it's probably more. I think it's probably both. I mean, not to take the easy way out, but you want to show that you're not a fucking maniac. Then again, it is a video game, so who gives a shit?
Right. Right.
But also, you just don't really care.
For me, I would think that all of a sudden, if my loved one is in the room, I don't know if it'd be showing that I'm not a maniac, but all of a sudden that wouldn't matter as much. However,
Right.
since I love racing games, if Annalise is watching or not, I mean, I play racing games. I like sim games, so I am going to, and Grand Theft Auto. But
Yep.
like if Annalise is in the room and I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, I'm running over old ladies. It doesn't matter.
So you do it all.
I'm going to win.
Honey,
But-
watch this.
But if it was kind of one of those things, like it would be interesting if they said, okay, you're in the car by yourself, or you're
Yeah.
in the car with your significant other, or you're in the car with the umbrella girl, and then see how they drive.
Right, so
Because
it-
if
actually
Annalise
in a
was in the
car.
car with me, I'd be like, I don't need the fucking money. I've got the person I want in the car with me.
And I know how
This
you
is
drive.
the whole right. Well, so I was going to bring this up. Funny thing is, big fan of motorcycles. I don't ride anymore, but I was a big fan of crotch rockets. I would never ever put, maybe aside from going around the block or going down the street, I would never put my significant other on the back of my motorcycle. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck no.
Would you put yourself on a motorcycle though. That's the
And
funny thing.
I was an idiot motorcycle driver.
But you're so cautious with your driving now.
Not on a motorcycle.
But on a motorcycle, you just turn it the fucking.
Oh, I think of the most annoying motorcycle driver that you've seen in traffic.
Well, wasn't one of your accidents when you were coming around the turns over in fucking Northern California and like almost ran into the back of somebody?
Yes, almost ran into the back of somebody. I was going too fast. I went over the double yellow line, and a car was coming towards me, and the car had to go off the road to not hit me. And I didn't stop. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
And were you dating anybody at the time?
Yeah. Yes.
See?
I smacked side view mirrors because, well, sometimes cars would come in because they wouldn't want you splitting lanes. Now, if you the rule in California is you're allowed to split lanes.
Yes. Which is
as long
insane.
as traffic isn't going over 25 miles an hour.
I know, which is still insane.
Now, a lot of drivers don't like motorcycle splitting, which actually helps traffic because if you don't have another motorcycle in traffic, everyone goes by. However, motorcyclists will split lanes up to 60, 70 miles an hour. And so sometimes cars would go in, and I wore knuckled, like either metal or carbon fiber knuckle gloves, and I just smacked people's.
What were you, like fucking Mad Max? Like you had all the gear on?
Oh, fuck yeah. You dressed for the crash, bro. I was dressed that I was going to get hit.
Well, because it's so easy to. That's the thing is I understand, like when you're in dead stop traffic, gridlock, and there's motorcycles zooming up through fine.
If you're weaving nice and slow in between traffic.
But they don't.
No.
And it's not so much like you asshole. It's more like you're going to get killed because people don't fucking look, or they're not going to see you, and they're just going to turn.
They don't look. And it's one of my big things. Like Annalise and I would be talking, and Annalise, I would say 90% of the time uses her turn signal. But sometimes nobody on the freaking road, right?
Sure.
So you just go on to the other lane. And I'm like, please use your turn signal, because if I was coming up at 120 miles an hour behind you and I didn't know you were changing lanes, it could go terribly wrong.
Well, it's a good thing to do just for the sake of habit.
Well,
like
it's
if you always do it, you always do it.
If you have something at your disposal that makes your driving more safe, that doesn't cost you anything, why not just use it?
Right. Yeah.
But no, it was interesting because I am a total safe in a car, in a cage, in a car, just very comfortable. But you put me on a motorcycle. That's why I don't have one now.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a whole crazy stat about that we may have talked about before, where it's, I can't remember which motorcycle it is. They're one of those crotch rockets where it's like your average life expectancy is so incredibly low.
The R1 and the Ducati the Ducati, I forget. But yes, when the R1 came out, they said that it was something like 1 out of 5 riders will die that bought the bike. Is
that what it was? Yeah, I just remember the time span was very short. It was not long. It was unbelievable. So anyway, there's another study. This one's talking about drugs and alcohol.
Drugs.
So this one it investigates the link between a man's relationships and his use of alcohol and drugs. First thought from the previous studies are that men who drink less and do less drugs inherently are more inclined to start and maintain relationships. So is it the cause or the effect?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you drink and do more drugs because you're single, or do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know about that. I think it's probably more of an effect.
Yeah. I think if you're a fuckface like me and like to drink when you were younger and like to drink a lot and do drugs, there aren't a lot of responsible people that want to spend that much time with you.
Or do you want the responsibility of having that relationship also? Because you're just fucking partying.
Well, for me in that time, I think I wanted both, right? I wanted to come home and have somebody who was like very caring, nurturing, and loving, and to be in that situation.
and understanding.
But then I wanted to be at any time just to go, I'm going to go fuck off and do a bunch of drugs and drink, and I'll be back. Like, I don't want you to come do that because I don't want you to do that.
Right.
Because I don't want to date someone who does that.
Right, because you'll just do it even more.
Because I know what I do while I'm doing that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But so I think it's more, it starts with me. It starts with the fuck face. I think you're a fuck face. And there's a lot of people don't like dating fuck faces.
Well, I used to smoke quite a bit in my 20s, and I used to not particularly enjoy dating somebody else who smoked because then it would make me smoke more. I was like, at least you're the responsible one here, and it'll keep me from doing it more.
For me, it's the opposite. I'm like, No, I just didn't want to do it because I didn't want to do it with them. If there was someone who wanted to do it more, I'm in. Let's do this.
Yeah, they do say with tobacco that it decreases a few years into your marriage. So like, I mean, I think that could also have something to do with you.
I never smoked tobacco.
Never?
Really never smoked weed either. No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, listen, if
Let's
it
just
might not kill me when I do, it's like
Yeah.
motorcycles, bro.
Right.
I'm not going to drive a car. Smoking a cigarette's like driving a car.
Nothing
Fucking
in
anyone can do it.
Nothing in the mouth, dude. Nose
Little-
and veins only.
Yeah, little roulette here, huh?
But yeah, I think also that it could have something to do with a lot of times when you're a few years into marriage, you might be having kids, and then that also will, kind of curb
Yeah, way to bring
the-
that up. Thanks,
the
bro.
desire. Sorry, I'm just saying. It also does say though that divorced and separated men smoke more. So fucking let's party.
That's
I'm
it.
out. It's
That's
time
it.
to get back to my youth.
Let me ask you this, Matt.
Go ahead.
God forbid anything happen. I don't want to. This is not the point of the question. But
That's all
if
right.
you found yourself single at this point in your
How
life,
dare you say that?
I know. Do you think you would go like freaking crazy with the drinking and the drugs for a while? Do you think you'd start smoking again? Do you think you'd buy a motorcycle, or do you think you'd just be like, let's take the little ones out of it also because that's a different.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make a hypothetical. You say you just want to bang and clang in a different sense of the word. That's all I'm doing here. Do you want to shoot up heroin next time I'm up for
Wait.
at Oregon?
I got some blow. You interested?
Yeah.
It might
do?
depend. It might depend. You carrying?
What?
It might depend a little bit on how I became single. If it was
that makes
heartbreaking,
sense.
I'd probably
Yeah.
drink my face off.
No, it's all your responsibility. You know,
Hmm. Oh,
shallow grave. No,
Wow.
wait, that's not what I meant. Sorry about that.
Jesus Christ.
No, let's say it was
Just
everything went
transported
well.
to another
everything
wo-
went well.
Okay.
It was just one of those things that everyone just goes, yeah, this is whatever, blah blah blah. Do you think you'd like want to get after it for a while, or do you think you'd be like, you know what, I'm good with that. I'd like to be somewhere with someone I care about and someone who cares about me.
I think I could devolve at least for a while
Yeah. Oh
into
fuck, I'd be
some of the bad habits. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like I think I would be doing things that weren't good for me.
Yeah.
And it would take a while before I was like, okay, dude.
I think it would be about 35 minutes before I bought that R1. Got a 1 in 5 chance, man. I'm good.
Well, because then it just solves the problem.
I guess
Because
I
then
got a
you go
4
out
in
and
one
blaze.
chance.
You go out and blaze of glory, just like your man.
That's right.
Looks like
That's
your man
right.
John. Like the most straight, not straight edge, but he was
He's-
always like nothing,
Yeah,
right?
their version of partying is like the cute version where where Motley Crue would look at Bon Jovi and go, "That's a total."
Well, not what's his butt? The fucking guitar
Richie
player.
Sambora.
Yeah, he had issues.
He had issues.
Still does have issues.
Yeah.
I think.
Still, yeah.
But John was kind of a
John
good boy.
married his high school sweetheart
Yes, he was a good boy.
Yeah.
So he was living that rock star life. but
at
kind
an
of on
Elvis chapel in Vegas.
Really?
hmm
I don't think I knew that part.
They were on
That's
tour, and he told his. I mean, he was. I don't think he was the most faithful leading up to that point.
fine. But that
but
got
he
him over
said,
the edge.
let's get married." And she's like, "Great." And he goes, "No, I want to get married now." And she was like,
This is
"What?"
your
She's like,
window.
"Yeah, let's go to Vegas. Well, he's also a huge Elvis fan too. So
Oh, okay.
an Elvis chapel in Vegas.
That's fun. I was gonna say, people always say you learn something new every day. When I hang out with Neil, I learn something new about Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi?
every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about the
Mhm.
same.
Mhm.
And then the only other thing it said was just in general alcohol and cannabis use. It's a decreased for men just prior to marriage and just after marriage. And it's kind of like, is that more of a social norm or what? And it is, because I think I think getting married and getting into a relationship and having kind of that responsibility just changes your outlook a little bit. Of course, it doesn't for everybody. And some
No.
people just get worse.
Was there something about you or your personality that you were afraid to divulge or express to your lady friend?
Just the bots. Just the bots.
Just your fear of AI?
No, just the sex bot stuff.
Oh, just the sex bots. There you go.
Which is funny, by the way. I was going to
Mhm.
get to that in a minute
All right.
as a fun little throw in. No, there was nothing I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid to divulge. There's nothing major skeletons that I had to, share. But did you?
Yeah,
afraid?
for sure. It's interesting for me because of the whole butt play thing.
Wow, it comes up every episode
I know
somewhere.
it does. It's just weird because I mean a lot of people view it as gay and a lot of people view it as that. So it's something that you definitely have to tell the person that you care about. Like not that they have to be into it or want to do it, but just simply that this is something that's part of my enjoyment. And if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. But I wouldn't be being honest.
But I'd really love it if you were in.
If you were in.
Do you
literally?
Did you put that in the vows?
Oh yeah, I had my mom write the vows, so she knew what to say.
Accepting of my butt play.
Absolutely.
I, Annalise, take Neil and his butt play.
And his butt.
So the last one, this is just for fun because the rest of this is dead serious. And don't worry, because I'm sure we're going to do a full episode or series on sex bots later. But there was a study that demonstrated how people project their own feelings about robots onto their partner. So in this study, men favored responses like, because it was more of like a survey, favored responses like, I hope, so talking about sex bots, I hope this type of robot is developed in the future. And I look forward to the development and launch of this type of robot. Whereas women favored responses like, this kind of robot would evoke strong feelings of jealousy in me, and I would like my partner to get rid of this robot.
That's awesome.
But the interesting part of the survey is that both the men and women thought that their partner felt the same. So they were like, wait, what?
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't like a woman might say, I'm not into this whole sex bot thing. And of course my husband isn't. And then she finds out he's like, oh, I thought maybe you were into him.
Oh, no. See, if I was asked that question, I would say absolutely Annalise would not be into the sex robot thing at all.
She's accepting of the auto blow, though.
Whatsoever. So we've had this discussion.
Has there been an incident lately?
No. No,
Did you find it on the top of the trash when you were going to take the trash out? You're like, wait a minute.
We had this discussion when we met because I was very open about my enjoyment about stuff, and she was very open too. And she's like, "Hey, look, I'm into these things as long as it's not a surrogate or lacking in our physical relationship. If these are just the things that you enjoy doing on your own as well as this, but it's like you don't enjoy me, so you're doing the sex robot or the auto blow or something like that. So something like that wouldn't be an issue. But I would totally, I would think if I was with somebody that they would not see, because if it was reversed, I would be like, I'm not sure if we didn't have the discussion that like I have about my butt, I'd be concerned that like she's never brought this up. So why all of a sudden does she want a sex robot? Now, if we've had very honest discussions about sex going into this, then I could answer that more. But I could understand where, no, I don't think Annalise would be into like me just having sex with a full female or male sex robot.
Right.
That would be awkward.
She might be okay with the male.
She might be okay with the male.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny that both sides, I'm getting choked up.
I know, wow.
Thought that they're
you don't have to try and get the male excited. You can take that out of your mouth if you want.
Wow. No, but I think it's funny that they thought, because like for me, if I was, let's say hypothetically, I was into having a sex bot.
Yeah. Which I think you absolutely thou doth protest too much, sir.
No, but I would be like, there's no way she would be into that. No chance. So so it's interesting that other people think that, oh yeah, of course they're going along with this. They're on board. We're on the same level. No.
I kind of feel bad if Annalise was asked this question, because they're like, would your husband into this? She's like, oh fuck, probably. Jesus Christ.
Does the bot do butt stuff? Then probably.
Yeah, probably. He's into it.
Don't ask him.
Is it a pumpkin? Is it just a microwaved pumpkin? Yes, he's into it.
Feels the same. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was it. So the joke of the whole question at the top was, of course, they're not holding us back.
No.
Let's go to Take It From Us. Each week, we offer up some advice to a listener who has submitted a question to us.
Can I ask you something?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So we've been doing this for a few weeks now.
Do I need to preface?
No.
This?
I feel though people are actually asking us questions that they want answered.
Yeah, that's true.
Like honestly.
Yes. And so this one very much so.
I'm going to start answering these totally honestly.
You're going to switch? You're not going to do the fake stuff anymore?
Well, let's just see how it goes.
All right, okay. So, still apologizing to Jake from State Farm for last week.
Fucking Jake.
So you can send your questions. And
that's his real name.
reasonsardebatable@gmail.com. And we have received quite a lot. So thank you very much for sending those in. And please continue to do so because they're a lot of fun. This week, we posed the question, are women holding us back? And I think we agree that they only stop us from kind of hurting ourselves and being jackasses. So that's good. Whereas this question,
this world would be much better with more women.
That is true. This question
So
is
would
interesting.
parties, but never mind. Go on.
Oh God. This question maybe is a little bit on the other side of that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a long one, so buckle up and we might need to do some okay stop as we go through
Okay,
this.
sure.
This is from Justin in Salt Lake
Mhm.
City. Guys, hi. A good friend of mine is absolutely ruled over by his wife.
Okay, stop. We all are. Go on.
Continue.
Mhm.
Their relationship hasn't always been like this, but as time has passed, he seems to have made the calculation that it's just easier not to piss her off than to stand up for himself. This is the whole happy wife, happy life
Mhm.
theory. He avoids conflict in general and tends to eat shit, even when it's not in his best interest. Well,
When is it in your interest to eat shit?
I would advise your friend to never eat shit.
Yeah,
It's
don't eat
not-
shit.
It's not going to be good.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit? His wife also thrives on interpersonal drama. It's her absolute favorite thing.
Absolutely.
That's her
Okay.
favorite thing. Like,
This
that's-
person knows this other person's wife a little too intimately.
Very well,
Let me
yes.
just put that out there.
It's her absolute favorite. Like,
If it's
that's
going to
it. Like,
end with his wife is my ex, I get where this is going.
what would you say your interests are? Well, I like to read, and I like to work out, and I love interpersonal drama.
Interpersonal drama.
I lost my spot. Damn it.
And whether it's conscious or not, she cultivates relationships that are primarily based on talking shit
Oh, you're reading it now.
about other people.
Well, you missed the first part. It's her absolute favorite thing. Oh yeah, you did. Whereas conscious or not. Yes.
Bitch, I didn't
I forgot that I gave you the question.
Yeah,
She
there you
cultivates relationships that are primarily based on talking shit about other people. It's immensely tiresome and unpleasant
For who? Not for her.
for other people, clearly.
Well, it doesn't say.
Clearly, Justin has been on the receiving end of this. He's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I, my wife, sorry,
My
it
wife.
comes out sometimes, have made a conscious effort to avoid people just like this and dance around their requests to make plans with us because we simply don't want to be around.
So you're passive aggressive. You just don't want to say no. I don't want to hang out with you. Okay, fair enough.
They're
You
trying
know
to be
what?
cordial.
This is coming into focus. This is really coming into focus. Go ahead.
Recently,
Oh, so you're still hanging out with him? Yeah, good for you. Yeah, way to not freaking plant your flag and say no more.
plant your flag, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, his wife has started making noises. I just wanted to pause there.
Just randomly, caw, caw, caw.
What kind of noises, Justin? Recently, his wife has started making noises about moving away because they read
Quote,
as
quote.
she,
Mm-hmm.
because he has plenty of friends, can't make friends.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in the middle of a pandemic and the greatest period of civil unrest in our lives, and this woman's got her head so far up her ass, she can only see the back of her belly button. Whoa, Justin. That is quite the analogy. You're speechless.
I'm like, well, I was still in the greatest period of civil unrest. Are we just like glossing over the whole genocide of the American Indian or what happened during the civil rights movement? Yeah, all right. I mean, shit's bad right now, but listen, fuck, man.
When a mutual friend pointed out that they both have jobs and own a home here,
Mhm.
she came back with, quote, "We can find jobs anywhere."
Well, the
Not-
sex industry is booming right now.
It is booming.
Mhm.
Not sure if she just doesn't know about the historic levels of unemployment or what, but sure. She is so
Wow.
salty.
Justin's so passive aggressive, but sure.
TLDR, by the way, I did not until probably 5 years ago know what that meant.
I still don't.
Too long, didn't read.
Oh, okay.
It took so long for me. I think I had to look. I had to Google.
Yeah,
it, as my
I
dad
have to
would
do
say.
that all the time with the kids these days. I'm like, what the
These damn
fuck?
kids.
Yeah.
My buddy, this is a strong statement here. My buddy's wife sucks and is unpleasant to be around. How far can we go in helping her realize it's her negativity and behavior that creates this self-fulfilling situation?
Hey, fuckface. Is your buddy happy? Does he want to be with her? Maybe this is the life that he wants. Maybe it's difficult for his friends, but maybe he's actually happy with her.
Or maybe he feels totally trapped, because I have had an experience similar to this where I was dating somebody and felt like
Wow.
kind of
You're
stuck.
gonna bring this up now. All right. Go ahead. We'll get into it.
Got locked into a podcast with this
Mhm,
guy. And no, I was dating somebody and you feel like, it's not a healthy relationship. You know that maybe she's a bit wackadoo or whatever, and it's not working, but you feel a little bit stuck. You're living with them perhaps, and in this case, married.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you do to get out? I had this, like, one night I went out to have beers with some friends of mine, and my buddy stayed around after, because there's like 4 of us got together. And as we're like going to our cars, he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?"
That sounds like a healthy night. We were all out having beers and late one night. Then we were going to our cars. Fuck, man. Yeah.
Well, I was taking chances, man.
There we, one out
It's
of
a
4.
young guy.
One
Probably
out of
had
4.
Probably had a cigarette hanging out my mouth.
That's right.
And he's like, this is not good. Like, you need to get, like, he laid it out there for me, because nobody else had really said it,
Mhm.
even though I kind of knew how everybody probably felt. But he really put it out there and was just like, you gotta, and I remember saying to him, I can't. Like, I was stuck.
I can't do it.
I can't
No,
do it.
and I will say I was projecting, because the one thing I will say about Justin from Allstate is that I've been in a similar situation, and it sucks balls. And the best thing you can do, in my experience, is the same thing your friend did for you, is pull that friend aside and say, "Hey, look, you may not be able to feel that you can get out now. You may not be able to feel that you get out recently, but when that time comes, just know that you have people that will support you, and you always have a place to go. So don't worry about the finances. Don't worry about anything else. Just get out if you're not happy. If you're happy, then this is your life. But if you're not, it's okay to leave."
Does he say in here that he spoke to him about this?
I don't think so. It's all passive aggressive.
Because it's a hard conversation, a difficult conversation to have.
Yeah,
because
because if I remember I would have remembered if he said, "And we talked to fuckface."
Yes, I
Fuckface
think
is the word of the day, by the way.
it is. So it's a hard conversation to have, because you have to you're putting it out there and telling somebody something about the person they're with, knowing that if they are like, "Screw you, I love this person," or whatever, "I'm going to be with this person," then you're going to be around them.
It's worth putting the relationship on the line. Your friendship on the line.
Yes, especially if it's so plainly obvious that they're not happy.
And
Because
also some tact, right? You don't go, "Get the fuck away from this chick." If you sit there and just, it's that simple, like, listen, if you're happy, it's your life. But if you're not, it doesn't seem like you might be. Just know that you have support. You don't have to worry about the other shit.
Right. And that's maybe how you start that conversation, is you just go, like, "I'm worried about you. Like, are you happy?" Because it does not look like you guys are happy,
Mhm.
So it's not coming to a place of judgment, or, immediately saying, like, you got to lose that gal. It's more
Because the
like,
other thing,
what's
too,
going on with you?
If I was in a situation and right now, and like you said that to me, my question to you be like, well, what about it seems like I'm not happy, or what seems
Right.
wrong to you about this? And then it would be a discussion about, well, in a lot of relationships, you shouldn't have to eat shit.
That would be one.
that
Well,
would be
yeah, I
one.
mean, it's like the conversations I had with Annalise after you went to bed when I was down there visiting, where I
Mhm.
was like, "You just don't seem like you're really
Into
enjoying
butt stuff.
this thing." And I understand, I get it.
And
I mean,
I'm
look at
not
that guy.
either.
And then
I
we'd
mean,
walk in the room and look at you while you're
He's not
sleeping.
even
Yeah,
well
look at him.
hung. Why
Look
would
at
you
that
want to
guy.
do it? Yeah.
He's got this little teeny thing there.
I know. I mean, how much Taco Bell can one idiot eat in a sitting? Who wants
can
to be with that?
Just leave him with the dogs. He'll be fine.
He'll
He'll
be
have
fine.
people around. So
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to mention too is just
You can do better. You can do anything.
I mean that.
Yeah, come on.
Not to mention, it's an old model now. He's 48.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Jesus.
you could get a newer model.
Yeah. You've been to Jamaica. You've seen.
But the other thing is just that he didn't mention kids, which I assume they don't. Because if you have kids, it becomes a whole nother element where it makes it difficult to kind of expedite that ending of the relationship.
Maybe to expedite, but you don't want to. I think you want to show your children that
it's not smart to stay in a relationship you're not into. Yeah.
that you're being abused. Because usually, whether it's emotional or physical, there's some kind of weird abuse going on, right? Whether it's like somebody's made to feel
Mental.
like garbage. Yeah. And so you want to let people know, like, especially your kids.
Anal abuse.
Yeah. Freaking, sunning prunes.
Oh, boy. Anyway, we hope that helps, Justin. Just step up and have the
Just
conversation,
next time,
man.
just write just don't be so passive aggressive on writing the freaking letter. Just say, like, I'm worried about my friend. I want to know how to get him out of a bad relationship because his wife doesn't seem to be a good person.
To me, it clearly sounds like he has endured watching this for a while, and he's got a lot of pent up frustration about it, and so he just needs to have that conversation. I think a lot of that stress will go away.
Yeah, I would suggest, Justin, that you just read this letter to your friend. Things will go so well.
No, absolutely not.
Don't
I
do
suggest, Justin, you play the audio from the last 10 minutes for your friend. Just hit play
Yeah,
and-
there you go.
And look at him across the table and don't
Right.
say a word.
But also, well, Justin, start at episode 1 for your friend.
Take the 13 episode challenge.
Take
or
him
whatever.
to tpublic.com/.
That's right.
DAPF pod.
Get some merch.
/stores. Get some Reasons Are Debatable merch.
That's right.
Make
All
him
these things
feel
should
loved.
help.
And actually, you should buy it for him.
And not to mention, Justin, maybe could you ask him to write a review of the show?
A 5-star review, and then once you get to this point, say, "Hey,
By the way,
this is something that I think really hits home."
right.
Minus the butt stuff.
Yeah. Listen to all the previous 13 episodes, but when you get to 14, I think you should stick around to the end.
Yeah.
There's something in there for you at the end. Thank you for listening to our show. You can find us and share your thoughts with us on Twitter at ReasonsAre, and Neil is
At AngelsFreak7.
You can email us your advice questions. Please keep them coming at reasonsaredebatable@gmail.com. As Neil mentioned, there's some merch. tpublic.com/
It's just easier. Go to darkangelsandprettyfreaks.com and hit on the merch. You can also hit on the Reasons Are Debatable tab, and then that merch tab takes you right to the Reasons Are Debatable merch. But there's a lot of fun merch for everybody.
There's fun merch for everybody.
Fucking fun. There's a shirt. Fun. Wouldn't that be awesome to see somebody wearing a shirt that
Just says merch.
Fun merch for everybody.
We should do a shirt that just says merch.
Merch.
Hey, you.
Get off of that my cloud.
Write us a review.
Yes.
Who, me? Yeah, you. Sorry, that was my
no.
Billy Ocean.
Justin, this is you. You write a review. Have your lame ass friend write a review.
Oh, come on. He's not
Have
a
his
lame ass friend. The guy is stuck.
Have his wife write a review.
Oh, now that would be helpful.
That would be good.
Because that would just
Maybe
be...
have her listen to this.
Oh, there you go. Because a lot of this stuff is kind of addressing her more
Yeah.
so than his friend.
Yeah.
So have her listen. Okay. I think we've solved a lot of problems today.
Always do.
Thank you very much. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
See ya.